Hey guys, welcome to this episode of On Another Line. Today we're going to do a short video talking about what a Ned Rig is and how to fish one. A lot of people have a lot of success with a Ned Rig all over the United States and even the world, and I think it's something that you need to have in your arsenal to catch more fish. So after this short intro, we're going to get right into it.
Gotta get your arms way up in a cat and set the hook on smallmouth bass, and then you'll understand. Gotta get your hands on a Shimano Rig and a G Loomis round. I bet you like what you feel. Step on the deck and give it a whirl. Hello and welcome to my world.
Alright, so what is a Ned Rig? How to fish it? Where did it originate? Let's talk about that. First off, I have no clue where it originated. I pour my own heads. I get the Do It mold finesse. I think it's called a finesse jig or finesse jig head. The bait seems to be made popular by Z-Man bait company, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm sure it was been used for years and years, and I don't know how it originated. I don't even really know what it's supposed to imitate. It's got to be a bait fish or something on the bottom. Looks like a little grub or something, but it does catch fish. Smallmouth absolutely love it. Largemouth's the same. It does have a hook that's exposed, so you're not going to want to fish this around a lot of rocks and timber and things because you're going to get it snagged. But so all my heads I keep in the same box. I pour a lot of different sizes. I don't do a ton of the small stuff. I like a bigger Ned head, and you know, I like something like 1/4 ounce here. This is the biggest I think that's there in the finesse Midwest finesse jig head from mold from Do It. This is actually powder painted. You can see that it has, if I can get it has like a textured effect to it. Love for my camera to focus. There we go. So hopefully you guys can see that. I think you can. It has a textured effect. So there's a lot of different stuff you can do. Here's a black one, obviously, and then I like green pumpkin a lot too. But I like these heads from Do It that are from the mold. You can buy these at the tackle box too. They use the same mold. I think the Z-Man stuff is coming out with them like this too, but if you guys can see here on the back side of this hook, there's a bait keeper on there, and that is a big deal, especially keeping your baits on there. So the two baits that I throw as far as the soft plastics that go on my Ned Rigs, and guys, there's 100 that are out there, if not thousands of them. There's some that are made that they look like crawdads, they look like crawfish, and they would be phenomenal. I just don't have any. I'm going to start fishing those things as we go off. But the two baits that you're probably going to want to start out with, in my opinion, this is a Z-Man TRD. It's called a finesse TRD. This is in Canada Crawl. Again, you can get these at Tackle Box. You can get them at Tackle Warehouse. You can get them anywhere you want. This is nothing more than a piece of plastic that's literally this long. It's 2 3/4 inches. And then the Jackal Yammy fish is another great bait to throw on the Ned Rig. So rigging a Ned Rig could not be any more simple. You're going to get your favorite collar. Some of my favorite collars in the Z-Man TRD is going to be Canada Crawl. I like New Money. I think it's called The Deal is another good one. White Lightning. Green Pumpkin. There's a bunch of different ones. Pretty much I've never seen one that they wouldn't eat. Bubblegum, the pink one is phenomenal for smallmouth when you go up north, like St. Clair. I caught 20 pound of smallmouth on a pink TRD finesse worm. But you know, so this worm is literally nothing more than a stick bait, kind of like a small Cinco. There's two different types. There's two different like textures on this bait, and I don't know if you guys can see these little nubs on this thing. And then there's a non-nubby side. I hook it through the top where there's not all those nubs. Personally, I don't think it really matters. It's flat up here, kind of domed down here on the bottom where the nubs are at, so that's why I think this is probably the tail. But literally what you're going to do is you're just going to take your hook, and you're just going to find the center of that bait, and you're going to push it through. First and foremost, one thing I forgot to mention about these Z-Man baits is they are the Elastec or Elast Z-Tech. Really, really, really stretchy. And another cool thing about these is they actually float. So I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second, how it would present in the water. So I'm going to find the flat side, and it's going to be really tough for you to see that, but it's flat compared to this here. It has a little bit of a dome to it. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to find roughly the center of my bait. And I'm going to go down You don't want to go too far into this bait because you want this thing to match up with the head of it. If not, because it takes a little bit to get used to. I'm going to go down. I'm going to, just like any other bait, I'm going to poke it out to the side. And then I'm going to work this thing up over the hook keeper that is here on this head. And you physically have to shove this thing up on there, and you like squeeze it until it like bunches up. If you guys can see that there. And that's going to cause that hook keeper to go a lot deeper into the bait, or I'm sorry, the bait keeper. And then now what you have is this little grub-like bait that actually presents itself by floating like this on the bottom of the lake. So it's bouncing along. You're gonna jig it just like a small jig on the bottom. I've caught them swimming these things off the bottom. I'm never intentionally swimming them, but if I'm just like reeling in to make another cast, I'll reel it, and you know, it's got some crazy action. They'll chew it, especially smallmouth. But so what you're gonna do obviously is tie your line here into the line tie, fish it like a jig, and you're gonna get bit more often than not. So I'm gonna show you a little example of me catching a fish and how I was presenting this bait. So here's that. So it couldn't be any more simple, guys. This is the TRD finesse rig, or the Ned head, or the Ned rig that people are loving to use right now. I use it a lot, especially when fish are really finicky and really tough to catch. Check out the Ned rig for sure. Another thing is it does have an exposed hook. It's not weedless. They do make some weedless heads, and you could probably make this weedless on your own. I choose not to because I don't fish it around a timber, around a lot of timber or rocks or things like that. If I'm in St. Clair, places like that where there's rocks in the water and I get hung up, obviously I'm in the boat, I can go get it unhung. Fairly simple bait, fairly cheap bait to use, very easy bait to use to catch fish on. And it's something that you should have in your arsenal, the Ned rig. Guys, I hope this video helped you out a little bit, gaining a little more knowledge and catching more fish out there in the water, because in the end, that's what it's all about. If you guys haven't hit that subscribe button on down there, I'd appreciate it if you would. If you like fishing content or fishing related content, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you choose that notification bell so you get notified when I post new content. Till next time, guys, you can get out there and lean on and do so. We'll see you next time on Another Line.